You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And hey, yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Looks like there's a lot to celebrate today. I think our production team is working overtime on all these celebrations. National Raisin and Spice Bar Day. That looks pretty good. Okay, Go for Broke Day. Now, I don't know about this one. Josh, I got a picture here on the Go for Broke Day as a mountain climber. At my size, there is no such thing as mountain climbing. Some people say if I lay on my back, that looks like a mountain, but too round. Let's see what else we have. Flash Drive Day. Isn't that a little obsolete? Is anybody using flash drives anymore? I don't think so. National Caramel Day. Put that over a little bit of ice cream. I like that idea. We've got National Caramel Day going on there. National Walking Day. Nebraska Day. Yeah, for those of you that celebrate today, Passover begins this evening at sunset. And now we're getting into the good stuff. National Deep Dish Pizza Day. Tony's, I hear you. How do you have National Deep Dish Pizza Day on Passover? I guess I got to go there for lunch or something. Okay, and you know the one that is the most somber, but we do honor today's Gold Star Spouses Day. Gold Star Spouses Day. We honor and thank all of our military men and women. The Gold Star Spouses today. I didn't realize that we were celebrating that today, or honoring them today, I guess is the better term. Because we're also going to be talking a little bit about the top 3 things you need to know about getting a VA loan. So we'll have that as well. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 34 points. The S&P 500 is down 21. The NASDAQ is down 173 points. Oil down 27 cents a barrel. 10-year Treasury all the way down to 3.29. Now, I want to share this with you because I do. 3.29 on the 10-year Treasury means that interest rates on a 30-year fixed-rate loan should be just at 5%, but they're not. So we're watching that. There is that divergence in there. Of course, the only thing that's being watched right now, apparently, is what's going on in Trump land. And I'm just throwing that out there to you. It's a shame because there's a lot going on in this world right now. And almost everything that we're hearing, everything that we're talking about is all dealing with Trump. So we're not thinking about the fact that Russia and China got together to divide the world and see what they're going to do with that. Russia and Saudi Arabia got together on oil prices. We weren't involved in that conversation. We're seeing all kinds of odd things going on. And you know, where's the president? Well, he's got the day off. Unbelievable. Now, you know, and here's the other fascinating part to me is I watch news starting usually about 4:30 in the morning. I watch several different news channels, read all kinds of news sources. But here's the issue. With all of this going on, what are we getting? What are we hearing from the media? Well, Trump, Trump, Trump. Do we care? Well, it is a big issue just because it seems like the charges are weak at best. But is that the whole story right now? No, we got a lot of important things going on in our world. And I'm just throwing that out there that there's a lot more important things going on than this whole Trump case. Now, one of the things that's going on that's a major, major issue is I'm gonna chat about that in just a second here. In fact, Josh, are we ready to go? Can you go to a break pretty quick? So we're going to go to break a little early because I've got an extended mortgage minute because I want to talk to you a little bit about what's going on. There is a lot of misconception in real estate and our economy. So I want to talk about that when we come back. We're also going to talk why aren't home prices crashing? Top 3 things you know about getting a VA loan. And you hear me talk on Ron Siegel Radio a lot about the USDA rural loan. We're going to learn a little bit about rural living today with Michael Phelps. He's an expert on it. And we don't get to chat about this a lot on Ron Siegel Radio, but there's a lot to learn. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at RonIsMyLender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. RonIsMyLender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial when you're ready for that next home loan. Geneva's got the programs, the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just about everybody can get a new house nowadays with no money down. Yes, we've got the VA loans. They earn it. We've got the USDA loans. We've got the Geneva Down Payment Assistance Program. And, yeah, the California Dream Program, Dream Home Program, that's out there, but there's so many available. You need to just talk to a professional. Teams at Geneva will help you with that one. So let's see what's going on in the world every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, and timely interactive analysis of prices or pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. 30-year conforming loans, they were down. Let's see if I can find my chart. My charts go away on me every once in a while, but Josh will put it on the screen so I can actually see it. 6.273 is the 30-year conforming. 30-year jumbo, 6.529. That was up a little bit. 30-year FHA, 6.212. They're all down. I can't read. All of them are down. So the 30-year FHA, 6.212, that was down. USDA for the rural areas, generally no down payment, 6.258 on that 30-year, and the best loan on the market for those that earned it. That would be the 30-year VA loan. That was down to 5.777. Getting closer to where we should be. And as I mentioned, I'll explain to you in a minute why I say where we should be. 10-year treasuries down 7 basis points to 3.277 on the yield there. S&P 500 is down 18. Mortgage-backed securities are down 8 basis points, which means interest rates are improving. But why? All of these issues, we come up with all these issues, and we want to know, why do these things happen? What's driving the market in all of these different issues? Well, there's a lot of different things that are involved, and we put together some charts here for you just so you can see the exact reasons of what's going on, why they're going on. So let's take a look at them from the top. So we saw yesterday, let's first look at pricing. So if we look at the home prices of what's going on in the market. Now, remember, I told you about Diana Olick getting everything wrong every single time she opens her mouth about real estate. So whatever you do, don't listen to CNBC because they've got a skew. They're not educating you properly here. But let's take a look at what's really going on. CoreLogic. Prices are up 0.8% in February, up 4.4% year over year. Their forecasting is 0.02% month over month and 3.7% year over year increase in home prices. FHFA, I like this one better because it only deals with homes with the conforming loans. Up 0.2% in January. Black Knight, they come up and they say home prices are up 0.2% in February. So if you notice, real estate values are all up when you're looking at the monthly numbers. We peaked out, we know, about June of last year, and we went down a little bit, not a lot. So if we look at the peak, well, if you look at the peak, 2.95% we're down by Case-Shiller since June 20 of 2022. Black Knight, we're down 2.6%. FHFA, we're down 0.6%. And CoreLogic says we're down 1.6% from the peak of the market, the very top of the market. But let's take a look at this. Over the last 10 years prior to the peak, we were up 116%. Think about that. So coming down a little bit after being up 116%, does that really matter? I would say probably not. Now, let's look at that even closer. 2 years prior to the peak, we were up 40%. Think about that one. Yeah, so we're still great numbers. So if you look at the chart, if you go to the next slide that Josh has there, okay, you're seeing where the numbers have gone to from 2020. They went straight up. That almost looks like a chart of rent. doesn't it? Well, we've talked about that one before. But then we also look at, and that was on the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. And you can see with the numbers in there on the next chart, so we're down 2.95%. Does that matter? No. Now, while this morning, while everybody was busy talking about Trump, well, we got the ADP employment report. Now, we've been talking to you about the economy slowing down. Well, the market expected 210,000 jobs to be created. It came in at 145,000. Now, everybody pays a lot of attention to the household survey report and the BLS jobs report that will come out on Friday. But that's all done with modeling. ADP does it with humans. They've got 25 million records in their database, and that's how they come up with their numbers. The BLS and the household survey, they're doing less than 3,000 people to do their modeling and a few phone calls here and there. So ADP says there was 145,000 jobs created. They revised February's number up by 19,000. The one we've been watching closely, leisure and hospitality, up 98,000. But we just saw the JOLTS report yesterday said that they reduced the amount of openings in that area by about 100,000. People that stayed on their job, they're getting a 6.9. They went from 6.9% to 7.2% on their payroll increases. Job switchers, 14.2%, 14.4%, still getting some nice increases in salaries. And the service sector was up 75,000, which is about 115,000 less than last year. So we're watching all of these numbers while everybody else is watching Trump. And as the market slows, here's the issue. Historically, when we go back over time, the spread between, Josh, put up the chart there, the OBMMI chart for me if you can. So we look at the spread between the 30-year fixed rate loan and the 10-year treasury is generally historically 1.79%. 1.79. Right now we're sitting on a 10-year treasury that's yielding, my computer's going slow again, as slow as me. That's yielding 3.27. So if we add 1.8 would be 4, that'd be like 5.1 would be where a 30-year conforming loan should be. And it's over a point higher. Those numbers are going to get closer because history repeats itself. I don't know when, but we know it's going to happen. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. As I mentioned before, Michael Phelps is with us, Cherry Miller and Associates, Realtor extraordinaire.
How about
Michael,
me?
now I can hear you. Welcome. Where are you located at, Michael? Josh will get this edited up for us nice and clean.
Well, we have 5 offices. I work for Sherry Miller and Associates. Our main office is in the Yucca Valley area, but we also have Joshua Tree, 29 Palms, and Morongo Valley Realty. We recently opened an office in Palm Springs, and we also have the rights to the name of Pioneer Town Realty.
Holy cow.
So we're pretty big up here.
Pretty. I guess it's easy to find you. You just look at any realty's name out there, call him, they'll ask for Michael, and he's there. So just a little humor for a I don't even know what day it is. Wednesday morning, I guess it is. So let's chat a little bit, because a couple of the things. I mean, I talk, Michael, a lot on USDA loans, and most people, being in Orange County, LA County, lots of Riverside County, doesn't qualify for that USDA area. But a lot of the areas that you're in, USDA, I'm sure, is a pretty popular loan, because we just don't know a whole lot about rural living. I saw in the notes that we have talking about a septic tank. I mean, I've dealt with some of those, but why would I even care about that?
Well, a septic tank is what you use to get rid of the waste products, might be the politest way to put it. We don't have sewer up here except in a certain part of Yucca Valley. It's just been mandated by the state. And for those that don't know what a septic tank is, there's a holding tank that has one, maybe two leach lines that go out maybe 40, 50 feet, depending on how big your property is. And all the waste products kind of just filter into the ground. And, that's how you get rid of the stuff. It does require some maintenance, not a lot, and they're pretty effective for many, many years.
Now, when you say it filters into the ground, because I'm a city boy, is it really filtering into the ground, or is it filtering into a tank in the ground?
No, it actually filters into the ground.
Wow. Okay. I never knew that.
Yeah, that's mostly the water products. I mean, the solid products pretty much stay in the tank. And then about once every 3 or 4 years, I have mine pumped out just because.
Okay. So then you pump them out. And now, is that when you're doing a real estate transaction, what are we watching for? Are we watching for, do you have to have a septic tank inspection? Or is there a disclosure report for that? How does that work?
It depends on what kind of loan you're getting. If you're paying straight cash, you can just accept the house as is and anything that happened to be wrong with it. But every lender requires a septic certification and from a certified plumber and a termite inspection too. And usually the seller pays for those here.
Okay. And so now I said that you're pretty much rural living. Is that a good analysis out in that area?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. So tell me what we need to know a little bit different than what I would expect in city living from a real estate transaction. Because I'm real new at it.
Well, I was born and raised in Pomona and grew up in Monterey area, Ontario, California area. So I'm pretty familiar with what goes on in the city. Out here, it was kind of a culture shock at first because we don't have all the stores that you would normally have real close to wherever you live. When you go to the store, for instance, you have to buy enough stuff to last you for a week, maybe 2 weeks. And some of the people that live out here live maybe 20, 30 miles from the nearest store. So you got to, that's one thing you have to plan ahead. Another good thing about it is there's not as many people as there is in a big city. So it's usually a lot easier to get in and out of stuff. That makes sense.
Does that mean that, so what does that do with the home values? If there's less people, does that have an impact on home values?
Well, home values here up until about 5 years ago were pretty low. But since the influx of the tourists that come to Joshua Tree National Park, which we get about 5 million visitors a year, people started buying Airbnbs, and we get more and more people here all the time. So home values have gone up. They've gone up tremendously. About 6 months ago, they took a sharp drop, but they're starting to rebound here at a pretty good pace.
So now's the time to get out there and buy something. Is it mostly, is it primary residence? Are people full-time there, or is it vacation? I know you mentioned Airbnb, but what is your general population?
Most of the people that live here are full-time residents. We do have an influx of snowbirds. And as far as Airbnb goes, we had so many of them that the counties and the town of Yucca Valley, the city of 29 Palms, had to put a limit on them. They were actually just overpopulating the area and driving the renters out. I have a friend that had his house sold out from under him that he was renting, and now he's living in an RV with his 2 kids and a wife till he can afford to buy a place.
That's pretty interesting. That now when you start talking 29 Palms, am I right? That's pretty close to the military base, then, isn't there?
Yes, the Marine Corps Air Ground Combat Center, as it's officially called, has been around since General Patton was serving in the U.S. Army. The Army got tired of it, so they gave it to the Marines. It started off as a glider field and has progressed into the world's largest combat center where you can actually go out and train for desert warfare. You can drop bombs out there. They do tank maneuvers, train with cannons. Anything you can think of, they do out there other than nuclear stuff.
Wow. So that must be pretty impressive, because I've when we were one of the radio affiliates that we've had, used to be right adjacent to the Miramar Air Base. And, you just sit out there and watch, and you're just fascinated and very, very humbled when you start watching some of the planes and equipment that's going over. It's a pretty amazing feat. We're going to come back and talk more with Michael Phelps. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. Rural living, we're going to talk more about that. Top 3 things you know about getting a VA loan. Why aren't home prices crashing? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452. You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great site if you're thinking about buying a house anywhere in the next 1 day, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. It's got on there the tools that you need: credit monitoring, budgeting, monitoring your bank and asset accounts. What's your property worth? It's got 3 really, really good valuation tools. It shows you Zillow also. And it also has about 97% of the properties listed for sale across the entire United States. rsrmoney.com. Why aren't home prices crashing? There have been a lot of shifts in the housing market recently. Mortgage rates rose dramatically last year, impacting many people's ability to buy a home. And after several years of rapid price appreciation, homes finally peaked last summer. These changes led to a rise in headlines saying prices would end up crashing. Even though we're no longer seeing the buyer frenzy that drove home values up during the pandemic, prices have been relatively flat at the national level. Lawrence Yun, chief economist at the National Association of Realtors, doesn't expect that to change. And here's his quote: "Home prices will be steady in most parts of the country, with a minor change in the national median home price," unquote. You might think sellers would have to lower prices to attract buyers in today's market, and that's part of why some may have been waiting for prices to come crashing down. But there's another factor at play: low inventory. And according to Yoon, that's limiting just how low prices will go. Quote, "We simply don't have enough inventory. Will some markets see a price decline? Yes. But with the supply not being there, the repeat of a 30% price decline is highly, highly unlikely," unquote. As you can see if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, We've been at or near record low inventory levels for a few months now. Yeah, a lot of long few months, right? I mean, if you watch, it's bad as far as inventory amounts. The lack of available homes on the market is putting upward pressure on prices. Bankrate puts it like this, quote, "This ongoing lack of inventory explains why many buyers still have little choice but to bid up prices, and also indicates that the supply and demand equation simply won't allow a price crash in the near future," unquote. If more homes don't come on the market, a lack of supply will keep prices from crashing, and according to industry experts Rick Sharga, inventory is not likely to rise significantly this year. Quote, "I believe that we're likely to see low inventory continue to vex the housing market throughout 2023, unquote. Sellers are under no pressure to move since they have plenty of equity right now. That equity acts as a cushion for homeowners, lowering the chances of distressed sales like foreclosures and short sales. And with many homeowners locked into low mortgage rates, that equity cushion is not going anywhere soon. With so few homes available for sale, important to work with a trusted real estate agent who understands your local area and can navigate the current market. Remember, if you're thinking about buying a house and you want to get yesterday's interest rates, go to rsrbuydown.com, rsrbuydown.com, and take a look at that, and you'll be able to see a strategy that we've shared many, many times on how to get the lower interest rates even in today's market, rsrbuydown.com. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation, chatting with Michael Phelps, Cherry Miller and Associates, and a bunch of other real estate names out there in the 29 Palms area. He's giving us a little bit of education this morning on rural living. So Michael, what ended up moving you to, you said from the Pomona and Monterey area out to, into the 29 Palms area? What pushed you out that way?
Just got tired of living in crowded conditions out here. At night, if I want to walk out on my front patio, I can see the stars. I can see the Milky Way. I don't have a lot of light pollution, don't have a lot of noise pollution. It's just for me, a better way of living.
Yeah, something, and it's so you get to relax a little bit more and not have the hubbub of the city. Yeah,
that's correct.
It's a trade-off though, because you said in the last segment that you have to deal with going, plan to go to the grocery store or whatnot. Is that accurate?
Yes, unless you live like inside Yucca Valley city or town limits. We're a town. I keep getting them mixed up with 29 Palms. They're a city. Anyway, if you're inside the town limits, you're not too far away from the stores. But if you get out towards Landers, especially a place like Johnson Valley, which is way out there, when you go to the store, you buy all your stuff. It's a long way to run to the nearest convenience store to pick up some milk or whatever else you may need there. You're looking at maybe a half hour to 45-minute round trip in some of these places.
So if I better plan ahead if I think I'm going to run out of my Tito's.
Yeah, pretty much. So I have a friend that lives in Northern California, and when he goes to Costco, he goes into Reno, and he's got a cattle trailer that he loads up, and he's got maybe 6 months worth of supplies there. And his bill at Costco is, last time I went with him was almost $9,000.
Wow.
He only goes like 2 or 3 times a year.
That's pretty well, there's some people I think right now in the Big Bear area that might be contemplating a little bit more, stocking up a little more than they were before.
It's a good idea since we live in earthquake country. Even if
something years ago, that was the back road. I don't know if it still is, but we used to take we were going from Orange County to Lake Havasu. I think we used to go right through 29 Palms and the little airport there on the right side, but it was all desolated. You didn't see anybody for a long time. You didn't want to break down in the middle of the night.
This is true. It's still that way. Once you get outside of the town limits or city limits of 29 Palms, the airport's about 3 miles out on the right-hand side, and you can go for a long ways and not see maybe another car or anything. That's one of the ways I ride motorcycles, and that's one of the ways I like to go. I like to take a day ride. I'll go out to Havasu and then back up maybe I-40 and come down through Old Woman Springs Road, Barstow area, and home. So it takes a day to do it, but it's definitely relaxing and fun.
That way you get to see a little bit of traffic that you don't get to see very often.
Yeah, you don't see much of it. The worst time to go is like during Easter week or maybe a holiday weekend, because everybody in the world's got a boat and it's a 2-lane road out there. So if you want to pass somebody, you got to be real careful because there's traffic coming both ways.
So let me ask you another question, because you said so far you don't have a lot of sewer. Do you have electricity out in that area, or water? How does that work?
Yeah, we have public water. We have electricity in most places. A lot of places in Joshua Tree will have power but no water. Sometimes they have water but no power. And if you want power, you got to talk to water. You have to talk to the respective agencies. Last time I talked to the Joshua Tree Water District to bring water into a place was $75 a foot. So if you were 1,000 feet away from the nearest public water, you're looking at $75,000 in order to bring water into your place. But you can drill wells. The last time I talked to the county, and I always advise people, when you buy a piece of bare land, check with the county as to what you want to build and if you can drill a well. At one time, you used to be able to haul water in, but last I checked with them too, they wouldn't allow you to set up new holding tanks with a pump. You had to drill a well, and then they had to put a meter on it. So, but I always check, because the county likes to change things, and then they don't tell us, and then we look like a big bunch of dummies.
Well, that happens. That's not just in the rural areas. That happens everywhere where the counties change things that kind of give us curveballs.
Yeah, and they don't tell us. That's the thing. They never send out a bulletin. You just find out the hard way.
Now, most of what you're dealing with, is it new build, or do you deal with, is there resale, or once you're out there, people just stay?
We're getting a lot of new properties being built out here. For whatever reason, the big builders have decided to come out and, make us more city-like, I guess would be a good way to put it. But still, I think maybe close to 80% of what we have out here is stuff that's already been built. So it's just reselling it.
Is there a large turnover of people, or is it? I would think that if I went there from Orange County and moved out there, I would think that some people would say, this is great and stay forever, and some would try to go, something, I'm not sure I can handle this kind of a lifestyle where I'm so far from everybody else.
Yeah, most people either love it or hate it. There doesn't seem to be I could take it or leave it type attitude, or I could live with it, but if I didn't have to, I won't. It's people come out, especially people that come from a green area, because I deal a lot with the military, and we'll get a lot of people that come out, say from Pennsylvania or someplace where there's a lot of green. They'll come out here and wonder why I live out here. Well, the weather out here 9 months out of the year is fantastic. It's the 3 months during summer which can get pretty nasty.
Do most people leave then?
A lot of people do. Yeah, we got a lot of snowbirds that they'll come and go. They'll come in usually around October, November time frame and leave just about June when it starts to get over 100 degrees out here.
Over 100 degrees. We'll talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Also, going to continue our series on the VA loan. Today, we're going to talk about the top 3 things you need to know about getting a VA loan. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Borrow Smart segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions. You need to get your credit scores corrected because they're all wrong. What are you doing about it? Borrow Smart, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. Top 3 things you need to know about getting a VA loan. The VA loan program offers unique benefits for eligible borrowers, including low interest rates, no down payment, and more flexible credit requirements. However, it's crucial to know the top 3 things about getting a VA loan before diving in. Let's chat. Number 1, the golden ticket. That is the certificate of eligibility. One of the first steps in the VA loan process is obtaining your certificate of eligibility. This document verifies your eligibility for a VA loan based on your military service or if you're a spouse, your spouse's service. You can get the certificate of eligibility online, by mail, or give us a call at 800-306-1990. We can help you do that. Number 2, no loan limit for VA loans. Good news, as of January 1, 2020, there is no longer a strict loan limit for VA loans. This means you can borrow as much as a lender is willing to lend without the need for a down payment. However, lenders may still have their own loan limits based on factors like credit score and debt-to-income ratio. Always confirm the specifics with your lender. And if you don't get the answer you like, call a different lender. Maybe And I've told you about that before. The big banks, a lot of times they say you don't qualify and they forget to say with us. So give our team a call at 800-306-1990 to see what we can do to help you. Number 3, the VA funding fee is a one-time fee charged by the VA to help cover the program's costs. It varies based on loan types, down payment, and your military category. Some borrowers, such as those receiving VA disability compensation, may be exempt from this fee. It's important to consider this expense when calculating your loan costs. Bottom line, don't miss out on the benefits of a VA loan. Give us a call at 800-306-1990. Get set up with rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Go to our website, ronsiegelradio.com, and talk to one of our team members. And we've got professionals who can guide you through the process and answer all of your questions. Again, get started on your path to home ownership, rsrmoney.com. That is the Borrow Smart segment. Again, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Continuing our conversation, we're talking to Michael Phelps today, learning about rural living. So gone over a lot of different areas here. If you've missed them, you missed a lot. And we're not going to go back and tell you anything that you missed. You can go back and watch the show on Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. So, Michael, you talk about you're out there, and you know, in the city life, we have to look at down payment assistance programs. I would venture to guess most of your areas, between the VA loan and the USDA loan, you're not really worried about down payments too much, are you?
Not usually. Every now and then we come across somebody that needs some help, and somebody like you will definitely have a program for them. And everybody else seems to either come in with a conventional loan, an FHA loan, or USDA and VA loans, which for a long time were the majority of the loans that we dealt with out here.
Well, the VA loan, to me, I mean, obviously that's for the select and special few that have served our country. That to me happens to be, I think, you know, of all the loans out there, it's probably the best one on the market, just because the Veterans Administration wants veterans to own a home, and they'll bend over backwards if the lenders will do their job properly. You know, calling the regional lending centers to, you know, deal with appraisals and, well, you probably don't have much condo out there, do you?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, so you know you don't have to deal with it, but in the city life, the condos, VA really wants people the veterans to get that loan. So, you know, make sure you're really looking at that anytime you're contemplating for that primary residence. What's the age demographic you're dealing with out there, Michael?
Well, when I first moved here, it seemed like most people were in their 60s to 80s in that age range. But things have changed over the last 15 years. We're getting a big influx of younger people. People can't afford to buy a home, say, in the LA, Anaheim area, so they move out here, and they're younger people looking to get established, buy something, and some of them don't mind the commute back and forth, although it is kind of a long commute. And so we're getting maybe in the 30s to 40s, a few in the 20s, not too often, at least in my experience.
So being that you're so far away from so many things, how do they deal with schooling and education then for the younger people?
Well, we have 2 high schools up here. Well, actually 3 if you count the continuation school. We have Yucca Valley High School and 29 Palms High School. We have 2 junior high schools, which right now are starting to get pretty crowded due to the influx of all the new people. So there is talk, and it's only talk right now, of building another junior high school. I haven't heard any rumors about building a 3rd high school up here yet, but that will probably happen in the future.
So there's opportunity out there for young families to get started. And, you know, especially nowadays, especially post COVID, you know, we learned during COVID how many people can actually go and get a job and work remote with all the technology that I apparently have a lot of challenge with.
Yeah, me too. I like to be one-on-one with people more than anything else. Other than sending things out via DocuSign, I don't do a lot of technical stuff.
You need a millennial to help you, Michael. That's kind of that's my world.
Yeah, I have a 16-year-old grandson that we're raising, and he helps me with just about everything that goes wrong with the computer. He'll walk in and go, "Oh, Grandpa, this is so easy. Check this. Click, click, click," and he's done. And it's like, oh, I feel like a knucklehead.
Something, and I'm not out there in the rural living, and I say the same thing because I called Josh and said, "What the heck am I doing wrong?" And he probably thinks I'm a knucklehead too. So we're on the same page there.
Yeah, it can be a challenge if you're not used to using computers and stuff. It's overwhelming. It's more mental, I found out, than anything else. I still think after college chemistry and biology, I can certainly learn how to use a computer.
Well, maybe that's where my problem is, because I had trouble with chemistry and biology. So maybe that's my shortcoming. Let's talk a little bit about, if you're buying, how do you know? I look and again, I've told everybody, I might not have shared this with you, Michael. I used to import screwdrivers. I've imported millions of them. I don't know how to use them, and I don't know which end to use. But when you're talking about buying raw land, is it tough getting the zoning that you want, or is it a long process? How does that work?
Most of the area out here is zoned for residential living, anywhere from just a regular city lot all the way up to 5 acres. 5 acres is the biggest land, biggest amount of land that we have. Don't know if I said that right. And then we have also bigger parcels too that are zoned for that. But as far as you need to rezone something, say you're going to start a glamping site, you would have to petition the county for rezoning, and they can guide you through the process.
Is it a long process?
From what I hear, it is. I've never personally tried it myself.
Interesting. So someone would buy the land and then start that process. Obviously, you don't want to start that process and then find out that you can't get the land.
That's correct.
And what is a normal is there any such thing as a normal parcel size if I'm going to look at building a single family home on a lot?
Well, normal, like inside the city or town limits of Yucca Valley, is about a half acre. My house that I'm at is 0.6 of an acre. And that's a pretty good sized lot. Some of the cities I've lived in, you might have 3 houses in a half acre, And then if you get out in the rural areas, 1.25 acres, all the way up to maybe 40 acres you can buy, and it'll be zoned for residential.
Wow. Irvine, you can get, I think, 5 houses on a half acre, maybe because they stack them on top of each other, but that's a whole different subject. There's a lot of interesting stuff that you've got going on out there. It's almost like, I share that I helped with my first family with a loan in 1983, and I thought I had a good handle on things. I talked to you, and I'm like, is this the same industry that I'm in? It's other than, I'm obviously I understand the USDA loans and the VA loans, but you're in a whole different world out there, having to understand, driving a half an hour to go get food, last night my grandkid, my kids and grandkid came over, and on the spur of the minute and said, okay, we want to go to Taco Tuesday. You don't get to do that, do you? It's like, it's a plan.
Yeah, if you're in the rural areas, you definitely got to plan that. Inside the city limits of, like I said, 29 and town limits of Yucca Valley, it's usually not too bad. It's just this time of year we get such a huge influx of people that come out to the monument or just come out to get away. And it can be a little bit of a challenge getting into some of the better restaurants in town. Some of the better ones are locally owned, which is good. Family businesses. We still have a lot of those here. We don't have too many big box stores, such as we have a Super Walmart now and a Home Depot. But other than that, we usually have just, regular businesses that most people own them, personal business, family business.
So I should ask you before we go, because my wife's I'm sure going to ask me as soon as I tell her that you're on the air with me. 29 Palms Del Taco, is it still there?
Yes.
Okay, so if we go out to Lake Havasu, we can still stop there at the 29 Palms Del Taco. That was her favorite stopping spot on the way.
Yeah, it's on the highway across from Stater Brothers. It's on the north side of the highway.
I love it. I appreciate you coming on and giving us a little education on rural living. If you want to know more information about living in 29 Palms, Yucca Valley, or that general area, Michael Phelps, world of knowledge. We can give him a call and chat with him right there. Call me at 800-306-1990. I'm happy to put you in touch with him. I'll give you his number, and you can start that world to rural living. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
About a minute. My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something